Hi, I hope you can hang in there for a few minutes. I want to encourage those of you who are like me who have had learning difficulties and other disabilities and disorders. I want to let you know, your loved ones know, and your friends know that there is hope and you are not alone. First, I'm going to tell my story. Then, in the following short videos, I'm going to offer you some advice that may help you. My message: your life matters and you have something unique and beautiful to offer this world that nobody else has to offer. But if you're like me, you may have experienced one failure after another, especially in school. How do you come to believe this is good, and how will you move forward with your life in a meaningful way? First, my story. I struggled so severely in school that I didn't learn to read till I was 12. And I still struggle with reading. So much, it was so difficult that this put me about 5 to 6 years behind in school. And I didn't get the proper foundation that I needed to learn all of the new stuff that everyone else was learning. This is not my only challenge. I was tested at a young age, but my test results were inconclusive, and teachers didn't know how to help me. I had even a special ed teacher tell my mom, hey, we don't know how to help your daughter succeed in school. Do you have any ideas? Because my mom's a teacher too. At the end of my sophomore year of high school, I was diagnosed with mixed expressive receptive language disorder, or known as MERELD. So what's MERELD? The receptive part means that I have trouble understanding what people are saying. This doesn't just apply to conversation, it also applies to comprehending reading materials and math. So the expressive part means I might have difficulty explaining things, coming up with the right words. I could have it perfectly in my head, but sometimes I just have trouble spitting it out. And this also includes writing. And if you'd like a little more detailed explanation of MERELD, feel free to leave comments or questions below or go to Mrs. Biss's page. She does a great job of explaining her experience. So, how did this play out? When I was younger, kids in my class would be talking about something, and I thought I understood what they were saying, the receptive part. I would try to talk to them and would often say things that sounded random and way off topic, the expressive part. They would give me these looks like I'm stupid and be like, where'd you get that from? We're not even talking about that. This made me feel sad. I felt left out, misunderstood, and like something was seriously wrong with me. Though my parents were always very supportive, I felt alone and very rejected and stupid. And as far as my actual schoolwork went, I remember one teacher in particular. She held up my work in front of the entire class and said, this is an example of what not to do, and this is not acceptable at all for my grade. I had spent many hours studying and was proud to turn in my homework. Mind you, I had some equally amazing teachers, which I'm going to talk about in my later videos. Following this, a girl in my class told the other kids that I was so unintelligent I couldn't spell cat or dog. Although I may have had trouble acing spelling tests, this did not determine my worth or what I had to offer the world. And it didn't define me, but I did believe this at times. I would cry to my mom. I would tell her that I didn't want to turn in my homework or go to school because I was so humiliated in front of my entire class. Now, in high school, my mom and I, on a weekly basis, would sit down together and we would pick and choose which tests that I was going to fail and which tests I had to study for because I couldn't afford to fail. I often cried. So much of my time, hours and hours, were spent on things that were very difficult for me and not fun at all. I had little time for other things. I felt so humiliated, rejected, ashamed, depressed, and alone. But that's not the end of my story. Now I am in college. It isn't easy, and we never dared to dream that I would make it. That's not even the important thing, because college is not for everyone, and that's not the only way to prepare for your life's work. Here is the important thing. If you truly believe your life matters and that you have strengths and abilities and were made in such a way that you have something special to offer the world, it will enable you to move forward, to give you courage and to keep trying, to overcome defeat and take a self-acceptance and a special kind of confidence that I learned in a recent TED Talk, self-efficacy. So what does self-efficacy means? It means the belief that you are capable of performing a task or managing a situation. I had to practice this word many times. Self-efficacy, self-efficacy, self-efficacy. I had to look up several definitions to understand it, but it describes my experience and makes sense to me, and I think it'll make sense to you too. As I learned in a TED Talk by David Keller, a famous psychologist named Albert Bandura came up with 5 ways to build self-efficacy. They are mastery experience, vicarious experience, verbal persuasion, emotional and psychological state, and imaginal experience. I am still working to live a life with self-efficacy. And in my next videos, I am going to explain self-efficacy as best as I can and give you real-life examples of my life. So I hope you will comment and join in on each one. But of course, please keep it positive. I believe this will not only give us hope, but help us to see how to overcome obstacles that keep us from achieving all that we are meant to do. Remember, your life matters. You have something unique and beautiful to offer this world that nobody else has to offer. Thanks for watching, and I hope you watch my next video.